episode 24 of Snacks and Suplexes. I am your host, Michael Christian, and today I have someone very special who I've dove into multiple rabbit holes over the last 48 hours for. The Mammoth, Donovan Cecil. It's wonderful to have you today, man.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's just get started with the simple one. What brought you into wrestling? Like, I've seen that you've done baseball, you've done football. I mean, it's contact sports and another contact sport.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, obviously been a fan my whole life. Always a big fan of The Undertaker, John Cena, all those guys. And then while I was in college at Kentucky State University, I found out from one of my coaches that OVW was having a pro wrestling combine. Or no, actually, that was a little bit later on. They were actually having the beginners classes. And I went and did a 10-week course with the late, great Matt Capitelli. And then went back and did my last 2 years of college. And then I came back and did the OVW Pro Wrestling Combine later on.
It's honestly really cool because we had just discussed my Snacks and Suplexes jersey off air, and it's actually your number you used for baseball and football, and I thought that was wild. It's like
Absolutely.
I just chose the number because it looked like an S and an S and S, Snacks and Suplexes, because it's funny.
There you go.
But it was something cool, and we had a conversation because I had walked out of the bathroom at the Midwest Wrestling Combat show. What was that? Fight for Freedom. I had noticed the socks you were wearing, just wild socks. I can't do long socks anymore. I just get too hot. So it's like, if people don't realize who you are, you've wrestled Jack Vaughn. You've been tag team champions with him on 3 different occasions with OVW and also with TW3 as Tusks and Chains. Such an interesting name. Like,
Yeah.
I understand it, but it's like, that's nice. But let's go back to what is your first wrestling memory? Or that first one where you're like, ooh.
As a fan or as a wrestler?
As a fan. As a fan.
That would probably be, I believe, WrestleMania 23. John Cena versus Triple H. And Cena had Triple H in the STF. And as Triple H is reaching out to grab the sledgehammer, we lost electricity at my house. And when it came back on, the match was still going. Triple H got to the sledgehammer. I think he hit him with it at some point, but then he ended up tapping out later on. But
yeah, I know that
like
finish so well. Like, then he does that very light tap. Like, Triple H never tapped out during that, what was it? 99 to like 2004 era. Never once. Never once. And that's how you know I watch too much wrestling, just right there. But let's go to my normal questions. What is that go-to snack you always like on the road after a long day or stop you have to make? I've heard people say Buc-ee's. Anthony would say ice cream. Serge says Kit Kats. Everybody has fun options.
I would say peanut M&Ms, and probably hot fries.
My big thing right now is the peanut butter filled pretzels.
Those are very good too. Yeah,
they're addicting. My wife goes to Costco, if you couldn't tell.
Oh yeah. Well, you get plenty of a portion then. So.
Oh, absolutely. We leave with the pizza every time, and what's the other one? At least 2 ice creams because I'm always eating something, and it's not a running gag. Like some of the wrestlers are like, "You just sat there and pounded 4 different drinks in a row." I was like, "Yeah, I drink a lot of fluids. Like I'm always eating or drinking something. Heck, I got other drinks that I haven't shown off before on set."
There you go. I'm a big
always something going on.
I'm still waiting on Ghost to bring out that Yoo-hoo flavor, but
that's going to be interesting. It's going to be really good or really bad. There's going to be no in between.
No, they're supposed to be coming out with a root beer flavor too, and I'm looking forward to that because the 7-Up is okay, but I'm not a big 7-Up guy, so
I'm stuck on the V8 ones. I went through 6 at the show, 6 of them, and was that? Who said something? It was Serge. He's like, how many drinks did you come with? Because every time I saw you, you were just drinking something. I was like, I drink a lot of fluids, man.
Well, there you go.
That's how I stay hydrated and going. You saw me down pretty much a full can in the 5-second right before the intro. But yes, I'm always drinking something. What initially sparked real wrestling? Like, what was that when when you heard about the OVW training camp, is that where you're like, oh, I'm going?
Well, when I first went to Matt Capitelli's class, me and my coach at Kentucky State, he was actually the defensive backs coach, which I played D line. But I was sitting in the rehab room, and he's like, they have pro wrestling training right across, an hour away in Louisville, Kentucky. And at the time, I didn't know anything about it. Um, so I had to go and did my 10-week course. Learned a ton from Matt Capitelli, rest in peace. And then I went back, did 2 more years of college, played a little bit of like semi-pro ball, stuff like that. Realized football is probably not going to work out for me. And then when I moved to Louisville, I saw that they had the OVW Combine, and I had to take part in that, and ended up getting picked 10th overall. I was the first non-already active independent wrestler that was taken in that draft. So
Wow, you talk so lightly of your football career. You're right. There you had 41 solo tackles that I'm reading about and 47 assisted. That's impressive on its own. And you have one offensive touchdown, which I'm like, hey,
yeah,
you got the ball one time and you ran with it.
yeah. Well, I mean, that was technically a fumble recovery in the end zone, but I did get a sack on the play. So
Hey, I one and done. That's all it takes is one. And
yeah,
everybody loves watching the big men get touchdowns. Honestly, that's the best part. And kickers getting hits. That's always funny to watch too.
no, absolutely.
I think I went to bed at like 4 or went to bed at 4, got up at 6 because I just kept getting stuck in rabbit holes and videos and stuff like that. Like your match with your Jack Vaughn loser leaves town match. Honestly, I thought that was your most brutal, but I attended your most brutal. And if you haven't seen it yet, Donovan Cecil versus Jawan. Dang it, I'm losing names. Jawan Thomas. There we go. My brain flopped. I'm sitting here thinking Thomas Heim because he signed my hat at the last show, and he's super cool to talk to. Everyone's like, you were a wrestling fan. I was like, oh, absolutely. I'll find something to talk about wrestling wise. But at the show, is there any? You did something during the match. I forgot to send you the video of it this morning. You were sitting on the top rope right before the superplex. You had the chair tossed at you, but you had enough withal to keep it from hitting a fan. And
Yeah,
somebody was like, "That was a smart catch."
yeah, absolutely. Because I'm up there, and he just throws the chair at me, and I see it coming, and it hits me, and I see it bounce on the ropes, and it's starting to tip outside of the ring. So I just give it a nice little slap back into the ring, make sure it doesn't land on the fans, because we already kind of got into the fans a little bit in that match. So.
Yes. And the group you landed on, I'm doing interviews with them at the next show.
Awesome.
I've already okayed it with management, the guy who runs the shows, and with what do they call themselves? Special friends of Fort Wayne. All of them are special needs guys. Some of them are the sweetest people, and they're
Absolutely.
like, "You'll do interviews with us?" I was like, "Absolutely." Being a fan isn't about what your inabilities are; it's what you bring to the show.
Absolutely.
Because one of them got the trash can signed.
Yeah. And then a
Okay,
bunch
it
of them
was a
got
trash can.
pieces of the guitar that got broke over my head. So.
Uh, the guitar spot was really cool because it went everywhere. The the Legos. My dad ended up with Legos in between him and the guy next to him, and I thought that was the wildest thing. And you just see little shapes of Legos in your bag.
Yeah.
How many days did it take you to recover from that, or are you still recovering from that?
Um, I would say the only thing that took me a long time to recover from was two things actually. Well, the most obvious was the superplex onto the pallets. That took a couple days, and then the when I broke the golf club in the doorway, shrapnel came off and cut me in a few places. So it took me a little bit of time to because I thought I was gonna have to get a stitch or two in a couple of them, but I didn't end up having to do that because why would I? But
You're the mammoth. Your skin's tough as can be.
Yeah,
We haven't even gotten into the other sports yet. You actually have a Tapology page, which I thought was wild. I was like, you probably didn't even know that.
no, I didn't.
It goes over your everything you've done. It started out with some of the background in pro wrestling and football, but then it showed a clip of your hand on, I can't even remember your slap boxing opponent. It showed pretty much your
Rings a
hand
bell.
right before the imprint, right before your hand like fully connected. That's the photo they used. Almost like that's how did you even come across that? I mean, your hands are probably double the size of mine, and I have interesting size hands for my size.
Yeah. So at OVW, there's a lady named Amazing Maria. She's actually Haley J's mother, or Hollywood Haley J. And she got me in contact with Sin Bodie, who does a lot of the recruiting for Power Slap now because, Power Slap has a lot of, or had, and still has some, but had a lot of former MMA fighters that, they obviously know how to hit and take a hit and stuff like that, but their personalities might not be all that exciting. So, they are bringing in more pro wrestlers who are willing to come in and, take a swing and get swung at. So when I was given the opportunity, I jumped on it because why not? I've been hitting people and getting hit all my life. So it's nothing new to me.
Absolutely. One thing that I'm pretty sure you saw this. Mahabala Shira, I can't ever say his name right, and Jake Hager. Yep, that's his actual name. The Jake Hager, it just translates like everyone says, but Jake can take punches. You can take all the punches you want. All it takes is one, and that's proof right there. I mean, you're walking proof because you knocked the guy out with a single.
Yeah.
But you probably have seen the clip going around where he's getting smelling salts and stuff in his face because it happens. You can get knocked out. But the protocol for concussions there is very well taken care. Like they take care of people.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
oh, you're seeing stars.
Yeah. Power Slap does a very good job of taking care of all their fighters, all of their competitors. I mean, they got the spotters back there making sure they guide you down to the floor and stuff like that. It's a very well run operation out there.
And I believe Dana White is one of the is he a not a sponsor? What is the term I'm looking for? Or is that a different organization?
I know he runs UFC, and that's owned by TKO, and it's all owned by the same people.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure his involvement with Power Slap, but I think he's involved in it, but I honestly don't know.
I've seen him at a few different events because I ended up in that rabbit hole for a good couple hours because it's like some of these guys, their faces will swell up to double their size and just still be staring at you like, oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. You have skull damage. But hey, if doctor says it's okay, you say it's okay, then keep going type of deal.
No?
What? Oh, where's this at? My notes are all disorganized. What is your I can't I assume it's all the same ritual your ritual before your fight before the matches before your slap opponent. It was probably all the same like or do you have a special ritual you go through?
I usually have a special ritual for different events. So, like with football, it was
Hmm.
always, listen to some music and, stretch, all that stuff. Wrestling is a bit different. So, before wrestling matches, I will, make sure I have my energy drink and hydrate very well and stretch, but I will also eat a bag of the pickles in a pouch because it helps me to keep from cramping. Before strongman events, I will watch a specific video of Luke Stoltman on YouTube. It's like a motivational video, helps me get pumped. And then before Power Slap, I didn't really know what to do because, ultimately, like, you're walking up there and you're slapping somebody, you're getting slapped. So I just kind of, watched a couple of inspirational videos to get pumped and listen to some music and then went out there and did the thing.
We actually have a strongman from base who I went to school with. He didn't become a strongman until we were both in our 30s. His name is George Sop, and he is like a super awesome guy. Like I showed him he's like, wait, a wrestler does powerlifting, strong. I was like, yeah. And he was shocked that I
Yeah.
knew another power lifter and strongman. I was like, out of what is your favorite event in strongman? He wanted me to ask this one to you.
That would be the yoke. I love the yoke. I unofficially have the world record in the yoke. There was a little bit of a snafu when I went to Utah and tried to break the world record officially, but unofficially, I have the world record in the yoke, and that one's my favorite event. So,
Is there a strongman you wanted to go up against competition wise, or is there anyone like Ryan Shaw, Eddie Hall? My favorite is Nick Best. Like he's just funny to watch because he tries not. He's overly serious, but he's just funny about it.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd love to compete against any of those top tier guys. Obviously, they were, in another world as me, like the Hafthor Bjornsons and all of them. But I would say my favorites, probably Zydrunas Savickas, I think, is the strongest man that ever walked the earth. And Mike Burke kind of gets overlooked a lot. But I always loved Mike Burke, because he's a very intense guy. He severed a finger doing a sandbag loading event and just finished the event and grabbed his finger out of there and went and got sewed back on, and came back and did the rest of the show. You don't get much
That's
tougher than people like that.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't seen that video, but I've seen guys lose fingers or pinch their hands real bad, and they're like, "Oh, fingers crooked." An event that came to my mind. I don't know if you've seen this one. When the strongmen used to bend the rebar for an event, like, oh,
Yeah.
who was in that? Lou Ferrigno, Ken Patera, and a bunch of other guys. I've seen that so many times this last week, but I watch it fully every time. Lou Ferrigno's bending it with his face, like in his mouth. What I'm sorry, like it was one of those weird rabbit holes I ended up down.
Good.
Okay. Which championship has meant the most to you or match has meant the most to you? Like that meant like you kept pushing, you're like, this is what I'm here for. Is that every match feeling like that?
Um, I would have to say that the answer to both of those is probably when I won my first singles championship, which was the Bullpen Pro Heavyweight Championship, in a 30-minute Ironman match with Donovan Dijak. That was that one meant a ton to me because A, it was my first singles title, and B, I'm going up against, in my mind, one of, if not the best, big man wrestler that's active. Like he's not just the big lumbering giant or anything like that, but he's also an athlete. He's a technician. He knows his way around the ring, and I learned vastly more in that match than up to that point I had learned in my career. So working with somebody like him and being able to pull off and win a championship and push myself to work, I think because we went into overtime, so it was probably about 35, almost 40 minutes against somebody with his work rate. That was a fantastic experience for me.
I will say you had. I keep bringing up every MWC show because every show you come in 100%, and I think it's wild because you were the match right before the intermission, about 5-10. It was about a 15-minute intermission, but you didn't go to the back. You went right to your table. That says more about you and Jawan Thomas than anything. How you guys were sitting there and you looked. You could. I saw y'all glance at each other like, and you just kind of did a camaraderie moment of of a nod, and you just kept going about it because the fans were happy. You sent everyone home happy, and I said this to Jawan on the last interview. If Anthony Toatelli and Rush Jones weren't there, that could have been the main event. Like that was a beautiful match, and the story was told. No, it couldn't have been told no better
Thank you.
because you had fans shaking with how rough it was because the entire row I was on, I bought the row for my friends and stuff, but a couple of them have never been to a wrestling show. And they're like, these guys are big. It's going to be slow. I was like, no, it's not. Watch. And then by the time you jumped out the ring, dived out the ring, they're like, what? He's like 300 pounds. Mm-hmm. Watch the matches. And you made more fans that night that I'm pretty sure both of y'all were busy up until like the second match after the intermission.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's part of the gig. We're beaten up, we're bruised, we're bloody, we're not feeling our best, obviously, but getting over there and signing autographs and taking pictures and being with the fans after is the most important thing because that's why we do what we do at the end of the day. We don't do it just for the money or for the in-ring accolades or whatever. We do it to make people forget that their lives might be difficult outside of wrestling, or to help people have a good time for however long they can be at a wrestling show. So getting out there and, you know, repaying being cheered on and being treated like a star while you're in there wrestling by taking pictures, by signing autographs, by, you know, talking with the fans. That's very important to me and obviously to most wrestlers, I would assume.
Oh, absolutely. Rush Jones after the show, a few minutes before the ring was taken down, was just taking photos, signing everything. Heck, speaking of that, I have your photo and it's made it onto my wall.
Oh, there we go. I see it there.
It's towards the bottom, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm just running out of room. I'm just running out of room. But so how we got back into contact, I even have it right here. I ended up with extra cash in my wallet and I still have it.
There you go.
Because first, I don't know how it happened, but I ended up with $5. I don't know if it was yours or whoever, because I was busy all night. I don't remember, and I don't recount my money every time. But I was like, hey, and that's how I messaged you. You're like, just keep it,
No,
because it was
I know it's not mine, so yeah, more
yeah.
power to you.
I just wanted to double check that day because it was so wild because I don't think I got home till like 11:30 at night because we just kept chatting with all the wrestlers.
Yeah.
I mean, where is that? I'm very terrible with organization. Franklin County is not far away. What, roughly an hour and a half, or is it more
Um,
than that from Fort Wayne?
it's probably 2.5, I think.
So it's closer to the indie side of things. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we're about an hour
Yeah.
from Indianapolis. Yeah,
Wow, because my mom lives in Indy and everything there, so I'm all over this northern part of the state. I'm from southern Indiana, but I grew up in northern. But hey, a 2 hour, 3 hour drive is nothing compared to what Thomas Heim did from Florida.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, dude, how do you do it? He's like, I just like to wrestle.
yeah,
And I when you boo me, it doesn't mean you hate me. You like to boo me. It's like
yeah,
that's exactly what I like because you can't get mad at a guy who's 5 foot, what, 170 pounds for being as good as he is at what, 25, 26, I think. I don't keep track of ages because it
yeah.
makes me feel older with all my gray coming in.
No, at least you got for Gray to come in too.
Barely.
Well, got more than me, but
Hey, you make bald look cool. Being
thanks.
bald takes work. You have to shave like 3 times a week, or else it starts
Yeah.
getting patchy. I learned that from who was that? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Being bald is work.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
What was your first moment of being starstruck, like a wrestler knowing who you were, or
Um, I would say probably when I met Mick Foley. I think that was probably because he refereed me and Jack in our loser leaves town match, and you know, like I had met other pros before then, or other like top tier guys, you know, like Al Snow and Doug Basham and the Big Show and a few other guys, but that was the first time I really got to have one of them involved in something that I was doing, and for him to not just like look over any of my ideas or my pitches or anything like that was very cool to me because it was as if he saw me as a peer as opposed to someone beneath him. And he was a very cool guy. That experience is fantastic. It's up there, probably a very close second for best match of my career, I would say. Like, you know, pinnacle of my career.
and you call the match against Donovan Dijak the best match of your career?
Yes, I think so.
Yes. 30 minutes is a long time. It's hard
Yeah.
to sit still for 30 minutes. I can't imagine wrestling for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I've done my fair share of marathons, half marathons, but wrestling is a different breed. Everyone's like, you should get into it. It's like, I'm like a foot shorter than you and about 100 pounds less than you. You saw me, I'm like this tall. Like, my logo was probably right at your beard.
Yeah. You know, smaller guys have done it, but
I,
it's a
I
tough
have
sport.
zero charisma. I hide behind my comedy.
Well,
But I'm gonna pop up your Instagram because your Instagram is awesome. It's full of a lot of cool wrestling posters too.
thank you.
You know how to use social media, as where I do not.
I'm just now learning how to use it.
You're followed by Chris Owens, who is that Cam Francis, who's a cool guy. I've gotten to meet him. I'm gonna close our messenger or the message thing. Is that the giant swing I see? Yes, it is.
I was in West Virginia from probably a couple weeks ago.
I'm sorry, like I'm an old school wrestling fan, and the giant swing is such a cool move. It
Thank you.
takes more than just strength. You have to keep your core tight, and
Yeah.
that's where that strongman strength comes from right there.
Oh yeah.
I was at this event too.
Hmm.
I will say this match was good, and it's the first time I've ever gotten goosebumps from a from somebody just doing a chop.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
I can
wife's like,
chop
"You
now.
watch so much wrestling," but I was like, "You heard it," and Jawan Thomas said his chest felt bruised for like a week.
Yeah. Oh
I was
yeah.
like, "Just a week? Just a week?" Like his
Yeah.
hand, your hand probably is like that compared to mine.
I got I got the thick ones. I got the old Whopper Junior hands, so I don't
That's
have like
there's
very
nothing junior about that.
I have very thick hands, so
I bet you could rip phone books in half.
I have yeah.
I've tried to do that. Nope, not my game. The strongest my hands got, I could rip an apple with one hand.
There
That's
you
the
go.
strongest my hands got.
Yeah.
What's another Latino Heat? Those poor oh yes. Did you have you I assume you've seen your match with ugh, where is this at? With Jawan Thomas. You've watched him back a few times. Did you see how far those Legos went?
They went a ways. Yeah.
And fans are like picking them up. How many times were you shown Legos from the match?
Several. I was showed a lot of Legos, a lot of pieces of guitar, a lot of trash can lid. Uh, the head of a golf club, I believe, was a 7-iron. The handle of said golf club. I don't think they got the chairs, but or the pallets. They probably didn't want the pallets, but they took a little bit of everything else.
Those pallets are no good now. I'm pretty sure you. I'll send you the video later. I'm pretty sure you came a foot off of those pallets after you landed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's not the message I try to. There we go. Thank you for working out. Thank you for the shirt, man. I've been working out in it the last 2 weeks. This is one of my co-hosts, Latino Heat TM, who's actually my twin brother. You met him at the show as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome for the
Who
shirt.
is your he loves wrestling shirts. I love autographs. We meet in the middle all the time. Who is your dream tag team partner?
Ooh, dream tag team partner. I loved my tag teams with Jack Vaughn and TW3. I would say my dream tag team partner would be Samoa Joe
Who?
because I model a lot of my wrestling after Samoa Joe because he's honestly one of my Mount Rushmore guys. So
Oh, absolutely. Wherever he goes, he knows to give back. I mean, yes, he wins a lot, but when he gives back, it's giving back.
absolutely,
When he put who was that? Ray over at WrestleMania. Such a short match, but it told you what it needed to. You could
yeah,
see the look in his eye.
hmm yeah. He's a
Uh,
he's a once in a
that'd be a
lifetime.
bad day. Yes, that'd be a bad day at the office for whoever.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry, I'm thinking old school LOD where they were known for being a little snug. Hey, nothing's wrong with that. Or
nope,
stiff, as some people would say.
yeah,
But it just depends on how you work. Old
yeah,
school or not. Like
yeah. If you work, I will be the first to say that I work very snug, but I work snug in safe places, and that's what's important
yes.
to me. If you want to hit me as hard as you want, as long as it's in a safe spot, that's all that matters.
Mhm. Yeah, one of the guys I went with, we call him Strap because his name's Strap on Xbox, so it just kind of stuck in real life.
Okay.
But he that was his first ever wrestling event. So he had never been to one before. He's like, this guy's taller than me, but yet he moves like it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, that's years of work right there. when he saw you running the ropes at first, he's like, "Whoa, he can move!" And then he saw you dive. I've never seen someone jump out their chair so quick.
Yeah.
And during your match, I'm gonna watch the match, but I kind of also watch around to see what's going on. Up top in the armory, there's their workout area. The four guys who did the pre-show all sat there and just kind of watched patiently, and then they all stood up as well after the superplex.
Yeah.
Like I love watching to see how others react, but seeing wrestlers still react as fans is the best thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're a wrestler and you're not a fan, you know, it's probably not the business for you anymore. You're probably going to get bitter with it pretty quick, I think, because at the end of the day, like if you're not doing wrestling because you love it, then, you know, why are you really in it?
Oh, absolutely. Who was that? Did you get to enjoy any of the Qdobas out there?
I did not, unfortunately.
They had a bunch at the end. I'm one of those where I just don't eat if I'm watching wrestling because I'm gonna get tired. If
Yeah.
I'm eating like little snacks, that's fine. But if I'm eating something with rice, I'm done. I'm tapping out.
Yeah. That was the way I felt, and I had a long drive home. So it was because, you know, I had to drive back to Alexandria, Kentucky and drop my girlfriend off and then drive another hour from her house back to home. So it was probably about
Is
three and a
that
half.
who I met at the event?
Yes. Yeah. Because
She
my
was
mom was there and
awesome.
my girlfriend was there. Yes.
That is awesome. Like you have the support system there with you. So I probably like seeing them in the first word you get, "Are you okay?" I already know. Like, are you in one piece ish? It was fun seeing you there, man, and I look forward to every show you're at. Is there anything, what would you say to this next generation of wrestlers? Like, keep your ears open, something like that. What would you tell the next generation?
I would say get out there as much as you can, as early as you can. Like, obviously, get trained, go to a good school that's got accreditation, has good, reputable coaches, get your training, and then don't stay in one spot because that kind of hindered me for a little bit, I think, was just staying at OVW and only wrestling there for a long time, as opposed to getting out and doing the independent scene. Because everywhere you wrestle, you're going to run into different styles, different opponents, different kinds of matches. You're going to have, you know, small crowds where you learn to work more towards the crowd. You're going to have bigger crowds where you learn to work a little bit higher pace. And different locations will have different, you know, style preferences from the fans, and you got to learn what the fans like and learn how to give them what they like or teach them to like something new. And you don't learn that from wrestling in the same place for a long time.
I mean, you wrestled on a card with Anthony Toatelli, who pretty much has this area on lock at this point. Like every card he goes to, he draws. But I will say he meant to say match card instead of on the NASCAR. I mean, spell check. It sucks. It's my worst enemy. Like so many times I'll spell something wrong. I do appreciate your time, man, but we passed the 30-minute threshold faster than I thought. But I appreciate you coming on here, man, and I'm probably gonna buy more stuff from you. Like, and then I'm adding my sticker to your. I got bigger ones made
Perfect. We'll throw
because
that right
I
on
was
the
like,
pop up.
how big is my hand? So I had to go off of this, and my wife actually does all my printing. So
Nice.
this hat here, we got the leather logo made, and then she stitched it on all herself. So
Nice.
that's how we do that.
Yeah. That makes it nice and easy.
But everyone, I made a joke to Latino Heat that I'm gonna start signing the brim of them. He's like, just do it. I guarantee nobody's gonna look right there.
Oh no. No, it'll be fine.
It'd just be funny. It's just an Easter egg of wrestling type of deal. But I appreciate your time. Let me flash your Instagram on one more time. I'm just slow at typing and everything. I'm like a caveman.
Uh, Me too.
My wife had to set up my Instagram, everything like that, and I had to figure out this program through YouTube. But yes, he has a link through Printify, which is actually his wrestling shop, and I saw shirts that I'm thinking about buying now.
Nice.
That's how it happens, though.
There you go.
But I appreciate your time, man. And as I always say, like, subscribe, and comment for more, everyone.